prayer for those. Remember VBS tonight. Excited about that. It's going to be fun. The kid in me, I may jump in and start playing with them. I don't know. I ain't decided yet. If one of them beats me, I'll quit. But I'm excited about that. Like I said, if you know somebody, I'm sure everybody here knows kids. If you know somebody that doesn't go to church anywhere tonight, bring them tonight. I think tonight would be a great thing for them, a blessing for them, and a blessing for us. But, okay, today I want to talk about something, just something that's kind of been on my heart, I'd say, for the last few weeks, something the Lord kind of stirred in my spirit. Who knows that as people, we're kind of on guard against believing everything we hear. Are we not? Kind of on guard on that right now in the world of fake news and all that stuff. We're really on guard about what we hear. Nobody here, I guarantee you, does this. Ring, 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 answer your phone. Congratulations, you've won a free cruise. All we need is your name and social security card. Mama, we won. Nobody does that. Everybody says, click, it was, Nobody hangs up and goes, woo, we've won $1 million. A sheep prince in India has left us $1 million. No, we kind of got smart to that stuff, right? No, it's not real. It's just this bogus thing. It's not anything. We hang up. So we've got now this kind of signs we answer and we can tell right away. Anybody get the one that says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was fixing my headset." Yeah, you were. You're not a real person. Or the one that's just a big cruise ship horn. Congratulations. Right, we just hang up. But here's the deal. For some reason, in people's lives, oftentimes, we don't believe what anybody else said. Boy, we believe everything we think. Don't we? Everything we think it's the real deal. And who knows that sometimes we're wrong. No amens. I didn't expect them. It's all good. But no, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes the devil, here's the deal. Especially in the life of a Christian. I'm talking to Christians today. I'm going to talk to everybody. But today I really want to talk to those that are Christians. I believe that's the people we got here today. Who knows? Jesus has our heart, right? He's got it. When we asked him into our heart, he came. And the devil knows this too. He's not a dummy. All right? He knows that, the way to them is not through their heart. They're founded in the Word. They're founded in Christ. They know the gospel. So the way to them is not through their heart. But I think I can get them in their mind. Right? If I can get a hold of their mindset, I can get a hold of their attitude. And if I can get a hold of their attitude, I can affect the way they live, and I can keep them away from God's perfect will for their life. Right? So that's what he's done. That's what he's done in people all through the Bible, and that's what he's still doing today. If you would turn with me to Proverbs 3:5. And when you get there, you can stand for the reading of the words real quick. We have become a people of intellect. And that can be a good thing. But it can also be a bad thing. In church, and I think my generation, I'll speak against my generation here just a little bit. I think it's almost become better to be a person of knowledge rather than a person of faith. And who knows, the Bible says it's all about faith. Let's go here, Proverbs 3:5. It says this: trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Lord. We ask that you open our hearts and you open our minds today. Lord, that the things that the devil or the world has placed in there, the bitterness, whatever it may be that right now we have fogging our mind, Lord, that right now be purified. That, Lord, that right now your words be all we focus on. Lord, that you speak to our lives today, leaving us forever changed. And we'll give you the praise and we'll give you the glory. And everybody says, amen. So like I said, we don't believe everything we read. We don't believe everything we hear. But half the time we don't believe everything we see. But we tend to believe everything we think. And like I said a while ago, the devil, he not being a dummy, he takes advantage of that. And I want to show you here in Scripture 3 places where people, I'm going to show you 2 places where people have believed what they thought. And really, we're not ever going to leave Genesis. That's how much this happens in the Bible. The first 3 events of the Bible we're going to check out. where people battle mind problems. They battle where the enemy is attacking them mentally. It's affecting the way they think. Therefore, it's affecting the way they live, right? So let's look here. First one is Genesis 3, 1 through 13. All right, here we are. We're in the beginning. We're literally, to find where the devil begins to attack people, you literally look at the first ones, right? You don't have to dig around and say, well, I know it's in here somewhere. You just open the Bible up to page, mine's 37, but whatever it is, and there it is. Chapter 3, verse 1 says, Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the other wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? The woman said to the serpent, We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die. Well, here we go. We all know in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. He created Adam. He seen that Adam was lonely, and Adam needed a mate, and he made Eve. Made it from Adam's rib. And there is your first two people. There's Adam and Eve. Who knows that God, in the beginning, when He created plants, right? Plants are they've got a body, right? They don't have a spirit, they don't have a soul, right? They just have a body. You don't ever say, you're not in your yard doing work, and you don't say, hey, flower, come help me. Right? No, it's just going to stand there. Help me get this. It's heavy. That does not happen. Nobody has ever said, I've got to take my flower to school. It's just awful. It's dumb as a rock. No, you don't do that. So He may create a plant. It's a body. Then there was animals created. Now animals are body and soul, right? That's what I mean soul, I mean awareness. An animal knows what's going on, right? An animal, it's got a body, it's got a physical form, and then it understands. If you call your dog, it knows you call him. He's going to come to you. It has awareness, it knows what's going on. And then there's man. Man is of body, soul, and spirit, right? Animals don't have a spirit. A spirit is like morality. An animal doesn't have morality. It don't know right from wrong, really. It doesn't understand. You go to the Serengeti right now, you're not going to find a lion laid over a gazelle saying, I did it again. Oh, I told myself I wouldn't eat these things more. I quit killing stuff. No, it's just going to be eating it, right? They don't care. They don't care. You're not going to go and fall in a bear cage, because I don't know if there's bear cages, but if there was, you're not going to fall in one and be like, hey man, don't kill me, I got kids. He ain't going to care. He's not going to say, well, since you said that, I bet I don't want to leave them follow us. They don't care. People are the only things that really have, they are the only things that have a body, a soul, we know where, but we also have a spirit, morality. We know right from wrong. Right? So in the beginning, He created Adam and Eve, the first things that were body, soul, spirit. And they lived in the Garden of Eden, perfection, right? There they were. Everything was grand and great and wonderful, and they lived there. And the Bible says, well, here comes the serpent. Down the road, here he comes, and he begins to talk to Eve. He says, Eve, there's this tree of good and evil. Knowledge, wisdom. You ought to eat from that. You'll learn stuff. You'll know stuff. And they begin to talk. And the Bible says, I didn't read that far, but the Bible says that Eve seen the tree, seen that it was good to eat, that it was pretty, and that it gave her wisdom. So she ate of it. Right? She's living in perfection. God says the only thing you don't have is, everything's great. Do whatever you want. I mean, you've got it made. But she grabbed a hold of the one thing that is no. Don't do it. Disobedience. Who knows this today? The devil, one of his favorite things to do is attack people in their contentness. Shouldn't she not have been happy there in the garden? Should that not have been a great place to be? Because should her and Adam not been content? And we talk about Eve, but Adam did it too. It doesn't say that Eve struck Adam in the head, knocked him out cold, and fed him apples. Sometimes us guys, we like to think of it that way. Poor Adam. She made an apple pie, and he had no idea. He took it too. So should Adam and Eve not have been content and happy where they were, in perfection, in Christ, in God at that time? Yes, they should have. But the devil, the serpent, got a hold of their thinking process, their mind. And he still does that to people today. Can I tell you today that I think more divorce takes place not because of horrible things that happen in the marriage. I think most divorces take place because one person just gets tired of the other. The devil creates this sense of, you're not content, you're not happy, you've been doing this too long. You've been going through this too long. So they say, so they begin to feel that way. They believe what they think. The grass has got to be greener. Anybody ever heard, grass greener on the other side? We know that's not always the case. But the devil begins to get in our thinking process and say, things will be better if you'll just go forward, change. I believe in being progressive today. If we're progressing towards things that are good. Some people like to just say they're progressive for the fact that I'm progressive. Well, that's good. Well, are you progressing towards good things? Or are you progressing towards bad things? Right? You're scared me a little. Somebody nod. That was good. Thank you for that. She's going to go to. But so, no, really, so here we see Eve and Adam here. It's almost like they got bored. They got tired of every day, and then they just thought, this is a good idea. We can have more wisdom. We can know more. We can, that tickles our brain waves. That'll be great. Let's do that. And what happens is they lose the greatest thing that's ever existed. Perfection in the garden. They lose it. Because they believe what they thought. They thought things have got to be better. Yeah. Can I tell you today that only God can truly give you a sense of contentment. You know what contentment means? It means peace. Right? A fruit of the Spirit is peace. He's the only one that can give you that. You can be in the best situation, the best circumstances. If your mind isn't on Jesus, you can find yourself miserable real quick. Just like they're in the garden and they find themselves wanting more, wanting something different. What? But that's what happens when we get our mind off God, our focus off God, and we begin to get it on things that we think are good. Stephen is literally getting stoned, y'all, getting beat for just professing Jesus, right? He's getting stoned and rocked, and we can't imagine the horrendousness that's in this death that they're giving him. And the Bible says he finds rest. He looks up, sees Jesus at the right hand of the Father, and says he goes to sleep. What? He goes to sleep? It's because that word sleep there in the Greek can mean rest, or it can mean peace. Today, I can tell you today, I can put you in the most perfect, the greatest place the world has to offer. And if you don't have Jesus, you will find yourself restless. You will find yourself anxious. You will find yourself wanting something more, thinking that maybe something else will fill this hole. Maybe something else will fix this. Maybe something else will do the trick. But it will never happen. And I can tell you that you can have Jesus and you can be placed in the middle of the most horrendous tragedy there is. And you can have rest and you can have peace. It's not about your physical surroundings today. It's about your mindset, about your heart set. That's what it's about. Unfortunately, Adam and Eve found that out just a little too late. They found that out after the fact. I think this problem that Adam and Eve had has caused a lot of problems today. I've studied that. I think divorce is one of them. I think a lot of people struggle with that. They just get tired. They get confused. They just get, I think there's something better out of it. You get, who knows in marriage? You get to know people a lot. You're around them all the time. You can kind of, I don't ever get tired of Sarah, but I'm sure she gets tired of me now and then. She don't. She said there saying no. Never. But it can happen, but that doesn't mean you just say that's it. That's the thought for that ain't the heart. That's the thought, that's the mind when you do that. I also believe, I'm just going to go into it, I think that happens a lot of times. It causes what we're seeing a lot of time in our society today, and confusion of sexual orientation or whatnot. I don't know who I am, I don't know what I am. Gender, that's kind of the new thing. We don't even know what gender we are. I believe that all takes place when we lose the contentness in our mind and we begin to chase something, filling a hole that stuff won't fill. Does that make sense? How I said that word that right? And we begin to chase all these things, and our mind begins to go after all these things, and we believe what we think, and next thing we're on a road that's taking us nowhere fast. We're lost. grab on to God. Grab on to God. Understand that today, the Bible, we talk about the tree of good and evil. Who knows there was two trees in the garden that the Bible specifically talks about? It says in the middle of the garden, there was two trees, a tree of life and a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And he said you can eat of any tree but that tree of knowledge of good and evil. In other words, he said you can live in that tree of life. You can eat from it. You can take from it. Bible scholars believe that tree of life is what would give eternal life. You know, at that time before sin, there was no death. Eve aligned herself with the wrong tree. She put her focus on the wrong tree. She allowed her mind to think on the wrong tree. I don't believe just one day she stumbled across the serpent in the tree and said, oh, let me take from it. I'm saying for a long time she wondered about that tree. I wonder why I can't eat from it. I wonder what this tree's about. I wonder what it will give me. And then I think the serpent just came in like the closer and just closed the deal. Her focus was on the wrong tree today. Today, we still live in a world of two trees. There's the world and there's God. There's life and there's death. Make sure your focus is on the right tree today. Not just for your sake, but for the sake of your family and all around you. Eve, I wrote this down, Eve and Adam aligned themselves, put their thoughts and focuses on the wrong tree, and they believed what they thought. And like I stated a while ago, being progressive is only good if you're progressing towards good things. Ask Solomon. If you remember, King Solomon was pretty progressive. After David died, King Solomon came in, asked for wisdom. He was extremely progressive, moving forward. But before long, he found himself moving forward towards things that weren't good. He was marrying women that the Lord didn't call him to marry. They were beginning to reestablish pagan gods in the high places and things like that. He was progressing, but he was moving towards things that did not benefit him or his country or his people or anybody. Today, let's make sure we're moving forward. I'm all for that. Move forward, move forward. I'm all for it. But let's make sure that we're moving towards things that God says is good to take of. All right, so let's move forward just a little bit here. We're going to go a long ways. We're going to go from Genesis 3 to Genesis 4. Now, who knows this story? I'm going to start in Genesis 4. I'm going to read 1 through 14. Adam lay with his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She said, with the help of the Lord, I have brought forth a man. Later, she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now, Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. And in the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. But Abel brought fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must master it. We'll stop right there. So we see over here the very next generation. We go from Adam and Eve to Cain and Abel, and we see that the devil is doing the same stuff he did to Mom and Daddy. He is attacking their minds. He's attacking Cain's mind. But he's doing it a little different way. See, Cain was giving to the Lord, but he wasn't giving with the right heart. He was giving out of the work of his hands. He was giving out of his works. Who knows that the Lord doesn't want our works? He wants our heart, doesn't he? He doesn't desire what we can give. Just here, I got this. He desires the best of us. And that's what Abel was giving. Alright? So Abel is giving, and Cain is seeing this, and Cain is giving, and Abel is getting blessed, and he's seeing Abel's offering, and he begins to get mad, doesn't he? I believe it starts up as a bit of jealousy, turns into bitterness, turns into anger, turns into hatred. That's kind of how it works. So he is seeing this. And his focus and his mindset goes off what can Cain do to receive the blessing. to what is Abel doing to receive a blessing? And then now we got all this other stuff going on. See, his mindset went off self-evaluation, and he went into anger towards other people. Who knows today the devil will attack your mind. He will get you thinking that everybody else needs to change, but you don't. He will tell you everyone else needs to change, but you don't need to. Cain, that's exactly where he goes. God goes to Cain and says, Cain, why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? We forget about this part of the story, kind of. That God come to him. It wasn't like Cain was on his own. God come to him and said, why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? If you will just do what is right, I will bless you. But if you don't, sin is waiting and it wants you. He said, you must master it. You must defeat it. It is playing with your mind, Cain. But Cain was so deep, I believe, in bitterness and anger and all this, that he wanted everybody else to lower their standards to where he was, instead of him raising his standards to where they were. Oftentimes, that's where we find ourselves. Everybody else needs to change. Everybody else does me wrong. Everybody else has got this. It's everybody else's fault. Can I tell you today that that is the devil? He's attacking you. He wants you to think that so that you will have these bitterness, you will have this anger, you will have all these things. He doesn't want you to self-evaluate. He doesn't want you to look at yourself and say, what can Kendall do to be better? What can Kendall do to be closer to God? That is not what the devil doesn't want you to do that. I've seen a story, I read a story, Brooklyn Tabernacle Church. It's a big church, it's a massive church in New York. They have the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, which is awesome. But anyways, I read a lot of their pastor's books, and I just went blank on his name, just right now, I don't know why. But anyways, I just went blank on his name. But I read a lot of his books, and his books are they're great because he started this church with like 12 people in Brooklyn, and it was the roughest of Brooklyn. And it boomed and got big and great, and now he kind of tells stories of things that happened in his ministry. And he tells the story of this man who comes in. He was a drag queen, and he was a prostitute. And he come in, and he went to church one day. And he was coming to church a little bit, and he said, I never knew the words to say to him. He said, it's kind of awkward, because, he said, I've never been around that. He's out from Kansas, He said, I didn't really know what to say or anything like that. And he said, one day, he said, this man gets up, he said, he's fully in drag, and he goes to the altar, and he begins to weep and cry. And he said, I didn't know what to do, I just prayed with him. And he said, I knelt down and I told him, Jesus loves you. What he made you to be, that's what he loves. And he said, it says that and then it says, man got up and left. He said, I didn't hear from him for the rest of the week. Well, then the book flips to that man telling the story now. Okay? And he said, hey, I was raised in a home of drugs and alcohol and whatnot. I hated myself. When I looked in the mirror, I hated who I saw. And he said, he talked about going and becoming going into drag and then becoming a prostitute and all these things. And he said, one day I was walking, he said, I seen this church. It was on the side of the road, it was a new church, and I heard the music, and it was cold outside, so I went in. And he said, I sit down on the back pew, and it just talks about kind of the evolution that took place. And he said, I went to the altar that day, and he said, Simba, the church preacher, Brother Simba came to me, and he laid his hands on me, and he whispered those words into my ear, and he said, I went home. He said, to a little apartment, and he said, I looked in the mirror, and here I was. He said, he'd seen himself in his drag, makeup, and all this, and he said, for the first time in my life, I didn't think that was beautiful anymore. He said, I cleaned myself off, took a shower, I wiped all it off, and I seen me. His name was like Bill. He said, I seen me. And he said, for the first time in my life, I seen me, and said, this is who I am. But mine, before this event, he believed everything he thought. When he looked in the mirror and he hated the man he seen, he said, that man must be bad. He believed what he thought. But when Jesus got a hold of his heart, he's seen himself as Jesus sees him. And it talks about now he's got 2 kids living, he's part of the ministry team. He's like a street minister. It talked about all the great things God had done for his life. But it shows you just how far down the devil can take you when you give him control, but how quick the Lord can bring you right back up when he gets control again. There's Cain saying everybody else needs to change. I'm not going to do anything any different. Even though God himself come down and said, do different and you're good. I'm not going to do anything any different. He believed what he thought. And that is that I'm fine and everybody else is wrong. And that thought process led him down a road that would lead him to kill his brother. Whew. I would never kill my brother, would you? Don't anyone nod yes, I have to report it. I got scared after I said it. I'm one of those, what do they call where you got to report it? I'm looking right now. Okay, everybody's, some people didn't reply, which I'm not going to take it as admission of guilt. But anyways, we really honestly would never think y'all would kill somebody, no. Right? But who knows spiritually, if we're not careful, spiritually now I'm talking. When we allow ourselves to get a mindset of how everybody else is wrong, we're the only ones right, we do those very things. When we allow ourselves to get a mindset spiritually of bitterness and jealousy and hatred, we may not physically kill them, but we'll spiritually whoop them if we're not careful. If we begin to become bitter towards people and angry and have a hatred towards them, spiritually we can tear them down pretty quick if we're not careful. It may not appear like Cain did it, but it can a lot of times have nearly the same effect. Be careful. Don't believe everything you think. We're not always right, are we? It ain't always everybody else's fault, is it? Remember this, and I think this is very powerful. The devil does not want you to evaluate yourself and make yourself better. He doesn't want you to look at yourself and say, what can I do to be closer to God? But that is the answer. That is the answer. What do I do? What can I do? I've seen situations where I felt like I was not at fault, but the Lord led me to say, what can I do? And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But it was always the right answer. Yeah. What can I do? These people are mad at me. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but what can I do? What can I do to help this situation? Finally, let's go here. Noah, we're going to go to Genesis. I almost said Noah 6. Genesis 6. It's on Noah. Everybody be like, I don't have that one. Sister Louisville probably would have had that. KGV would have had that, I guarantee it. Genesis 6, I'm going to go to verse 9. 6 verse 9 says this. This is the account of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I'm going to put an end to all people. For the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood, make rooms in it, and coat it with pitch inside and out. This is how you are to build it. The ark is to be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 40 feet high. Make a roof for it and finish the ark to within 18 inches of the top. Put a door in the side of the ark and make it lower, middle, and upper decks. I'm going to bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens. Every creature that has the breath of life in it, everything on earth will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. You are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, to keep with them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird, 2 of every kind of animal, 2 of every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and stored away as food for you and for them. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Now here is your next, now this is the good example. This is what happens when you don't lean on what you think and you trust on what God knows. Here's Noah. He's sitting there. He's hanging out. Says he's a good guy. He's got a good family. The Lord comes to him and says, I'm about to explode everything. I'm going to flood the earth. Now you got to remember, this time they'd never seen water fall from the sky. It's a different time. Now we see floods. I can see a flood, big flood. They didn't fathom that. Intellectually, if Noah would have thought about that, he would have said impossible. Right? This is not possible. We know later on that the people mock it and make fun of it for it. Because it's impossible. It's not, you can think on that all day long. In those times, they're saying there ain't no way. But what would have happened if he would have done what he thought? Or could have thought? Or leaned on his mindset? He would have perished, wouldn't he have? Who else would have perished? His wife would have perished. His sons would have perished. And his son's wife would have perished. If he would have done what he thought. I hit on this Wednesday night, and I'm going to share it again if you've already heard it. Just nod and act like it's real good. But who knows, there's some things in the Bible. There's the shall nots in the Bible, right? You shall not do this, and you shall not do that. Murder is one of those. You know, obey your mother and father. Some of those, they're there, bam, black and white, right there. You can't get around them. Okay? But then there's that other stuff that really it ain't a shall not. You have to kind of dig into it. I talked about it Wednesday night. There's different things, alcohol, drugs, there's, language, what kind of language you use, content of your entertainment, movies, stuff like that. There's these different things that it doesn't just right out there and say, don't do this, don't watch this, don't do this. We can dig around and find little morsels of nuggets off of the Bible to kind of give us a clear answer. And if you ask me, I'll use Scripture and I'll give you my opinion and what I believe the Scripture says. But it's not there black and white slapping on the face, right? So therefore, it becomes what they call a gray area, and then people kind of do with it what they feel. And oftentimes what happens is we use our own mindset and we say, this don't really hurt me none, I think I'll do it. Or this ain't, the Bible doesn't say you have to go to church every time the doors are open. So I don't think I'm going to do that. And before long, we use our own thinking and our own way of thinking to decide what is good and what is necessary and what's not, and what is not necessary. And I'm not going to tell you how to think today, because that's not what I'm called to do. But I'm going to tell you this, just like I said Wednesday night. There may be things that you think are okay and don't hurt anything. And I can handle it. I can handle it. I'll just use an example. You may say today, hey, you know what, I can drink a little at night. I can have a little sip of this or that with my meal, and I'm fine. And you can put that in your refrigerator, and you can say, it don't hurt me a bit. And I'll say, I have my own opinion, you can have your own opinion, we're not going to get into that. But I can say this. If I did that, who's to say my 5-year-old that goes in there and gets a Capri Sun every day out of the refrigerator won't spot that, and that Sunday ruin his life forever? Can I tell you today that what you do does not just affect you? What Noah decided on the ark, about the ark would not just affect Noah, it would affect his entire family. Be careful what you think, and definitely don't always believe what you think. God's perfect will for every child in here is not for its grandparents, its parents, its aunt and uncles, its church family. It's not for them to be a stumbling block to it. God's perfect will for Sawyer isn't for Sawyer to see things that are going to cause him to struggle down the road. That's not God's perfect will. God's perfect will for Abigail is not for her to see things in her home that's going to cause her to struggle down the road. That's not God's perfect will for her. So whose job is it to make sure that don't happen? Parents, raise your hands. It's ours. Grandparents, raise your hands. It's ours. Aunts, uncles, it's ours. Today, what Noah decided, what he believed would affect not just him, but everyone around him. And thank the Lord, he said he did everything that God commanded. Are you going to be perfect? No. Am I going to be perfect? No. But if we will just do our best to do what God commands, it'll work out good for us. It'll work out good for us. Statistics say that it's a high, I don't know the exact percentage, so I'm not going to quote it, but there's a large percentage of whatever you prioritize in life is what your kids are going to prioritize. And then whatever they prioritize is what their kids are going to prioritize. So I'm telling you today, what we decide and what we do affects a whole lot more than us. If we believe what we think, we better be thinking things that is going to help people around us, not hurt them. Thank God Noah did everything God commanded. Today, that's what I want my story to read. Who knows, every one of us is writing a story right now. Yeah. You may not see it, you may not read it every day, but today, in the grand scheme of life, you're writing a story. Yes. And I hope that everyone's here today ends with this, and they did everything God commanded. That's a great sentence to have in a story, isn't it? We know Noah has his struggles. He has his times of failure. We know this. But when I talk about Noah in a Sunday school class with a bunch of kids, you think one of them's going to raise their hand and say, remember that time he got drunk and that whole deal happened? No. When I mention Noah, what do kids say? The ark, 2 by 2, the flood. They remember the godliness in Noah. We're all going to have our failures. We'll follow God. If we'll not think, if we won't chase around our own thoughts and say, I feel like I got to make this make sense intellectually. I got to feel like I got to grasp this, and hang on to this. And we'll just trust what God already knows, what He's already laid out. In the next verse, when I read out of Proverbs, and it says, don't lean on your own understanding, but trust the Lord. In the next verse, in verse 6, it states, for He will make your path straight.
Yes, thank you.
He's already got your whole path laid out for you. That's what you understand. He's already got your whole path laid out. And it's a straight path. Don't think that you need to go make your own. Don't believe everything you think. Trust in Him, what He already knows, what He's already done. We got it made. I said this the other night on Sunday night. We have victory. We don't even have to fight the battle. Ain't that great? It's already laid out for us. We just got to walk it. Trust in what He knows. Lord, let's all stand, Lord. I know we got a busy week. We got VBS, and I'm excited about that. But right now, let's just put our focus on Jesus just for a moment. Let's forget about everything else that's going on. I know probably leave here, it's going to be busy, but that's okay. Right now, let's just spend some time with Jesus. Who knows today that He knows your innermost thoughts? He knows your fears. He knows your concerns. He knows your anxieties. He knows your restlessness. He knows everything about it. He knows what you love. He knows what you enjoy. He knows what makes you happy. He knows all these things. And He cares about you. He cares about what you feel. He cares about what you think. Today, if you've ever had the thoughts that maybe you felt like, hey, everybody's doing me wrong, including the Lord. Can I tell you today, that is a thought that is not right. Maybe you feel like Eve and you thought, maybe the grass is greener. Maybe this will fill that hole. Maybe that will make me happy. Maybe this will bring me peace. Can I tell you, if it's anything other than Jesus, that is not right. Today, I believe I'm standing amongst a bunch of Noahs today. I'm claiming that today. I'm standing among Noahs who say, you know what? It may not always make sense to me. Maybe I can't see the big picture. Maybe it's not what I would do. But I'm trusting in you, Lord. And I'm going to go where you lead me. Today, I'm believing today. I'm claiming that that's who we are. That's who we're going to be. And because of that, we're going to see our family saved. We're going to see the people around us affected in a positive light. Because we're doing what God commands. We're not doing what we think is best. We're doing what He knows is best. Today, let's just lift our hands and give Him praise right now. Whisper to Him